You already have it.
Good job.
Good job.
Oh, you have to admit something. Oh, is that big?
And today's Toastmaster today is Vicky John.
Oh, there you are. Hey. Thank you, Andre. Oh, that was my humor. Today we are doing a mock paper topic contest. We have not, there's Amanda, come on in, girl. Go back there and see Jeffrey. We haven't had any contests in this club for the last 2 to 3 years because of COVID.
Who?
So we kind of want to get started back, and I know the majority of people are so new that most of them joined since COVID. So Valencia has seen one. I've seen Grace's plenty too, and Dylan has, but Dylan must be running a few minutes late. That's okay. This is just we're gonna be learning the whole time because nobody expects everybody to know it right now. Do not go this way. He's got it set up to keep people from going this way. So please don't anybody go this way. So we're gonna start out with Jeffrey is chief judge. I'm the contest master and chair, and he is chief judge. So he's going to take his people out of the room. Why don't you go up that way? Take your timers, your counters, and your judges and go up that way. And do you know how to do the briefing?
I don't, but Valencia could be there.
Yes, so Valencia will help you, and I'll keep the speakers in here and take about 10 minutes. You can go out the door.
Is this paper for me?
Jeff did a good job of sending out stuff to all y'all and letting you know kind of what we're gonna be doing, but even still, it's still a learning process. So, and why don't you go with Jeffrey? You're the ballot counter.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, go out this door. Speaker, sergeant at arms, and speaker. So y'all come up here. I'm gonna be briefing the speakers.
Up here
And-
standing or up here sitting?
Just up here.
Okay.
And then Jake is the other speaker, and he's on Zoom, which is good because the contests are gonna be on Zoom when you get there. So this is your speaking area. You're not gonna have a lectern to stand behind.
Oh, no, you can't hide. I got you.
And the timing lights are back there. Lanima's gonna be running the timing lights. Anything less than a minute doesn't qualify. Anything more than 2.5 minutes, you're disqualified. We all know that. Oh, Jake, are you gonna be able to see the timing lights?
Where are they? I don't see them from here.
In the back of the room back there, I don't think you are. Have you got something you can time yourself?
You can start a timer on your phone, I suppose. You'd have to be looking at it like that. Watch that gremlin.
You gotta see the bruise on my arm, I feel over there. The older I get, the klutzier I get. Okay, we'll figure something out. Vicky's usually. Oh, I tried to sign up for that thing. Okay,
We could put somebody with the cards up here where you could see it off of the,
so, yeah, we'll figure something out. So what's gonna happen, we're gonna draw to see what order you speak in. That's very important. Because when you get to a contest that has 8 or 10 competitors, you want to be at the end of the speaking, because the myth is that the judges don't remember who was at the beginning. So with 3 of you, it's no big deal, and this is just fun anyway. So what's going to happen is, since this tabletop is the same question for everybody, they're going to put Jake, if he's not first, they're gonna put him in a waiting room. And then you two will go out, DeAndre
be
will,
called one at a time.
yes. So whoever goes out first, the judges have 1 minute after each contestant to mark their ballot. So during that time, DeAndre is gonna bring you up to stand right here. And of course, we'll have to make a session for him. He can just be on Zoom silent. That's 1 minute of silence. Nobody is to talk. DeAndre, if you find somebody talking during that minute of silence, feel free to go reprimand them, because this is very. Contests and Toastmasters is the most serious thing you're gonna run into.
Right.
It's really serious. It's nothing. Today, me reading the rules is about as serious as you're ever gonna see. Me too. But we're still gonna joke around, but just not so much while the speaker is allowed in and out of the room during that time. And Dylan's coming in. That's okay. He's already knows. Okay, nobody's allowed in or out of the room. I've already gone over all this with DeAndre. So this is your speaking area. Do you have any questions, anybody?
Our time starts as soon as we speak.
Right, the timer will not start until your first word. Or your first gesture. Now, if you're gonna stand up there for 15, 30 seconds. It's gonna start regardless, so you can take a deep breath and get your bearings, but you can't just stand up there for a long time.
Some reasonable pause.
Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Okay, so Jeffrey's still out. Hey Dylan, you're on mute.
Yes, I'm here. We're good to go, ready to evaluate some people.
You're not supposed to tell who the judges are. He didn't say that. Just forget he said that.
Jonathan didn't tell me he was gonna be a judge either.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, good. And the reason for that is these competitors, not you guys. When you get further up, in the division and stuff in the district, they are serious competitors. And of course, everybody thinks they should have won, right? So when they don't win, they're gonna go, if they know who the judges are, they might go to those judges and
Say, well, how come, why didn't?
yeah. So the judges are to remain as anonymous as possible. However, when you have a room this small.
Yeah.
Once they hold up their first ballot, then you're gonna know who they are. And then the contestants are not allowed to do anything to give away who they are. Like for me, if I wore my badge in a contest, you would see I'm a DTM. And then a first-time speaker would say, I'm gonna compete against her, even though she's not any good. You know what I'm saying? So there's just, like you said, there's a whole rule book of things to do and not to do. I was in a division contest one day. It's just when I was on the trio, me and the director were there. And Toastmaster acted like Toastmaster, and when somebody would speak, she'd get up there, she'd make a comment about the speech. This is not the time for that. This is serious. When I introduce you guys, I'm gonna call your name. I'll give you the question. I'll give you the question again, and I'll call your name, and then we'll clap. And this is not stump the chump, because I don't believe in that. Do you want to see how much longer Jeffrey's gonna be for me, please?
That's right here.
Oh, good.
Hey,
Dylan's on here.
okay, awesome. I'm assuming he has the form that he needs.
Yeah, but how's he gonna?
Give
Have
the
you,
ballot.
huh?
Yeah, how will he provide his ballot?
That's why I said you might want to get on. Have you got your phone? You can sign on to Zoom?
I do.
Yeah,
No, what if I'm doing it all electronically. I can screenshot and mail it or text it to Jeffrey.
That'll be perfect.
you wanna, okay, text it or chat it, text it.
Well, he's gonna send a picture of the ballot.
Yes.
Well, he don't have to, he can just tell you 1, 2, and 3, that's all he needs to tell you. Because they tear off the top part of the ballot,
Right.
and they keep that, dispose of that, all you get is that little
Little
thread. Okay,
So we went ahead and decided the order.
yeah, let's do that.
No, we've already done it.
The
Jake's
order of the
go-
speakers,
Yeah,
y'all did it?
yeah.
Okay,
And the reason being Jake is online, So
Okay.
in order, like, trying to put them in the waiting room,
Okay, so
No,
what are we
that's
gonna
the-
do, Jake
let
first?
Jake first.
Okay, and then, don't matter,
Will be
pick a
Next.
number. Pick a number.
3.
Okay, second and third. That's not the way it's done. in the
Ready for them to come back in?
Yeah. It's just called get her done. That's fine. And you know, some
I think it's
people,
supposed to be. I think that's the way these things work.
yeah, but I mean, you're gonna be fine. You're all, the reason I picked you three, you're all good table topics. Speakers. In my opinion. That's
Well, I
my
appreciate
opinion. Yeah. And Jake loves table topics, right, Jake? Keep yourself off mute, honey.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You love table topics,
Oh, sure.
That's why I picked the three of you guys. Now, Lamima, we got to figure out how Jake can see the timing lights.
We're gonna hold up.
Yeah, if you just hold it up.
Oh, just hold it.
I gotta go in there.
And she got the cards and she got. For these two contestants.
Yeah.
For these two contestants, you can use the lights.
Okay.
Is that okay? Okay. Everybody in the room? Oh,
Well, we waiting on one person.
okay. Okay, Dylan, spit water out.
Excuse me?
Dylan chewing like a cow. Got his tug going on. Well, you should have been here. Okay, I guess we're ready to get started. Everybody's been briefed. It is called a script. And this is the most important to me about a contest. Because, and you think, well, we're Toastmasters, we can remember. No, we can't. I've seen district directors, seasoned Toastmasters get up there and forget some of the very important rules about people entering and exiting the room. So I say we use a script. You may not want to hear me read. But here we go. And then after I read this, only a couple of pages, then if you have any questions, we will address them then, because we're all learning right now. We haven't done this for 2 years because of COVID, so now we're getting started back. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Table Topics Contest for Matthew. Speech contests are an important part of the Toastmasters education program. They provide Toastmasters with an opportunity to gain additional speaking experience, as well as an opportunity for other Toastmasters to learn by observing proficient speakers. Each contestant must be a member of good standing in a club of good standing, and all contestants have confirmed their eligibility in writing to the chief judge. And as a side note, as good standing, your dues have to be paid, and your club has to have at least 8 paid members. That's when it comes to, y'all notice when it comes to dues renewal time, I get real here at that time about having the 8 members paid, because you're not a club in good standing if you don't have those 8 members paid. And actually, Toastmasters can pull our charter if we don't have the 8 members. So this is very important that we're all in good standing, and we are. The Table Topics Contest follows all rules outlined in Toastmaster International's contest rule book, and all contestants have been briefed on those rules. Contestants they may not use a different device during the contest to gain an unfair advantage. Another side note, actually, if the contestants would please leave their phones on their chair when they go out, it has happened that somebody in the contest texted the question to somebody, and that was never supposed, so they made that rule, no cell phones for the contestants. At the commencement of the contest, all contestants except the first shall leave the room and remain under the supervision of a contest sergeant at arms, and DeAndre is going to be our sergeant at arms today, and he's been briefed too. Table topic speeches shall be from 1 to 2 minutes, and a contestant will be disqualified if their speech is less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Lamima, are you gonna do the lights?
I am, yes, for the two in here.
Okay, I want you to, if you could go ahead and go back there, we're about ready for that. So timers, normally there's 2 timers when you get up where we have more people. We don't have enough people in here to do 2 timers, so she's gonna have to be on her A game, right? See, I can be funny until the contest starts. Then it'll be good. What? Nancy wanted to say something.
I was gonna say something just about Jake seeing.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're putting him in the waiting room. He's going
No,
first.
for
actually.
the cons, we're gonna put them in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the
Yeah,
cards.
oh, yeah. That's why I asked,
That's why I
because I couldn't see the time and lights, but for the other 2, she's gonna use the time and lights. Okay, timer, for the benefit of the contestants, please display. Please display the green signal at 1 minute, the yellow signal at 1 minute and 30 seconds. And the red signal will remain displayed until the contestant concludes their presentation.
Nicely done.
It's like a contestant show.
It's a very important job. I got some stories about time, but, yeah. Okay. All contestants have been made aware of the speaking area and how the timing device will work. Protests are limited to eligibility and originality and shall only be lodged by voting judges and contestants. Any protest shall be lodged with the chief judge and or the contest chair prior to the announcement of the winner and alternate. All decisions of the voting judges and qualifying judges are final. Members of the audience, please ensure your mobile devices have been turned off or on silent with the vibration mode disabled. Please refrain from moving around the room while the contestants are delivering their speeches. Unless it is absolutely necessary, please do not leave the room. And should you leave and not return before the next contestant is announced, you will not be permitted to re-enter the room until after that contestant has completed their presentation. And DeAndre is going to be on top of that. So then there will be 1 minute of silence after each contestant for the judges to mark their ballots. There will also be 1 minute of silence before the first contestant speaks. Everything in a contest has to be fair. Every contestant has to be given the same opportunity. So that's why we're doing that way. And then Ms. Timer, Lamima, you will indicate to me when 1 minute has elapsed. You just turn on the green light. You're going to be timing that too. The taking of photographs during the contest is not permitted. However, there will be a photo opportunity after the contest has been completed. The speaking order as drawn by the contestants is Jake, and he's on Zoom, is going to be our first speaker. And then Tim is going to be our second speaker, Tim Akers, and then Patricia Farr is going to be our third speaker. Are there any questions? What is it? Can all the judges say? Is he still on there? Okay. 'cause
I can see Ty's move.
I have a question.
Right here is where, oh, Dylan, well, I can't hear him. What is it?
Do we have a view of the audience online? I think that
You don't need it,
Jake does.
huh?
And Jake should have a view of the audience.
You don't care.
No, I don't have it.
This is a mock contest. We're doing the best we can.
Okay.
If he was here.
Yeah, if you were here, Okay, it's time to get serious. So here we go. We need DeAndre to take out the first two containers. Am I missing anything? Yeah. Come this way. We did it in this room because to me it seemed more conducive than the other room. Because- Yeah, they're gonna sit out and you can shut that door.
Yeah, you can shut that door.
The door's not closing. Oh, it's that thing on there. Yeah. I think
But
that's
they go-
good enough. They're around the corner. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Jake, this is your 1 minute of silence. Our first contestant is Jake Barbie. Jake Barbie,
I can hear you.
what is the greatest blessing that you have ever received? What is the greatest blessing that you have ever received? Jake Barbie.
I have many blessings that I've been fortunate to receive. The past year, as y'all know, I've started a family and I have a son, and that's probably been the biggest blessing of my life. But I have many blessings. I'm blessed to have good health. I'm blessed to have my family still with me, most of my family. And we live very close together and I get to see them on a regular basis. But something else that comes that a lot of family doesn't get to have is I have my in-laws next to me and then I have my parents who live less than 10 minutes away. So childcare is not an issue for us. If my mother-in-law cannot keep my child during the day, I'm usually fortunate enough that my mom can take off work to watch my son just like she's doing today. And I don't think a lot of people realize just how much of a blessing that can be because childcare is very expensive. And I don't know if my wife and I could afford a child if we didn't have those resources available for us. But that's probably the biggest one. But if I had to name off all the blessings and which one is probably, I guess, the biggest or my favorite, I don't really have one favorite blessing other than my whole life has been, for the most part, a blessing. I'm not saying it's been perfect, but I have been very fortunate considering how some people's lives have gone. Thank you.
Ms. Timer, would you give us 1 minute of silence? Jonathan, would you color it? To bring the next contestant in. Wait to start that until we get the next contestant. Our next contestant, Tim Akers. What is the greatest blessing that you have ever received? What is the greatest blessing that you have ever received? Tim Akers.
Two greatest blessings. First, the sacrifice that was made by Jesus Christ, which we celebrate now at Christmas time, is unquestionably the greatest blessing that I or mankind has ever received. This unbelievable work of grace, engineered by God Himself to save me when I could not be saved otherwise. What a blessing. And God Himself is the source of all blessings. So the second blessing, second runner-up, is children, my own children and my grandchildren. In fact, I was just now thinking, I get to see my granddaughter, who's now 5 years old, and she is a pretty little picture. And not just that, but she's pretty on the inside as well. And when I get a chance to see her and see her face, it's just indescribable, the blessing that comes from seeing this sentient being, learning about the way world works, learning about things, interacting with you. Amazing. So Jesus Christ, His work first and foremost. But I had to mention my kids too. Thank you.
Done.
No, you can stay in here. The contestant, you can stay, is that right?
We can stay. I want Patricia.
Oh, yeah.
And Lamina, keep the lights on, don't turn them off until the next, yeah. Our next contestant is Latricia Barr. Latricia Barr, what is the greatest blessing that you have ever received? What is the greatest blessing you have ever received? Patricia Barr.
What is the greatest blessing I've ever received? Well, let's see. I used to often think of growing up that I was at a disadvantage. Growing up in a low income family, growing up in the inner city, in an urban area where the schools that I went to weren't the greatest. The programs weren't the greatest. The access to recreational activities weren't the greatest. So I'm thinking, I didn't have access to the best schools. I didn't have access to the best resources. But the greatest gift that I could have ever received was life. What have I learned growing up in an underprivileged neighborhood with not the best resources that were available? I've learned to appreciate. I've learned to appreciate where I've come from. I've learned to take the struggle that I had and use it to my advantage. The greatest gift that I could receive is experience. That experience that I now have to give to my children, to give them a better environment that I had, the better resources than I had, to give them a better head start in life that I had. The greatest gift that I received was life from my parents. The greatest gift that I received was that struggle. The greatest gift that I received was growing up in those urban areas that taught me how to be strong, how to overcome, how to invent, how to be creative. That's the greatest thing I've received, was that struggle, that underprivileged disadvantage that is now an advantage to me. And not just me, but my children, and it'll be for their children. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain silent until the judge and ballot counters have left the room. Judges, please ensure that your ballot is valid by printing and signing your name and listing the first three place getters. Place your ballot into the envelope provided, then hold it up for the ballot counters to collect. Ballot counters, please ensure that all envelopes are collected before leaving the room with the chief judge to tally the ballots. After the chief judge leaves the room, the contestants will come up to the speaking area for a bit of an interview while the judges count. So we don't really need to do the timing. They get as much time as they need.
Now for an intermission, I shall do a dance. An interpretive dance.
So we were allowed to yuck it up a little bit.
I've already given me my.
Okay, all right, good. You broke the ice.
Oh, Valencia hasn't.
I'm glad I asked.
I'll be interested to know a difference.
Yeah, I didn't realize they could have.
No. Oh. Yeah.
Chief Judge, did you get all the ballots? Ask them to get all the ballots.
Yes.
Okay. That's right. Woo. Y'all can breathe now. Breathe.
So on with your interpretive dance.
Swan Lake.
You wanna pull that door so we don't disturb, pull it too, so we don't disturb them. Well, let's start. What we do now is just a little bit of an interview, because when you get past the club level, you don't know who these people are that are speaking a lot of times unless you visited around or you're an area director or something. You met all these people in your area. So we do an interview. So I know that Jake is fairly new. Jake is pretty much still a newlywed.
Oh, but
Yeah, and a new father. He's a farmer. And he and his wife work full time. So give us about a minute or two and tell us a little bit more about Jake so we can get to know you.
Like Vicky said, I'm a hobby farmer. I grew up actually farming. My parents built a commercial turkey farm about 25, 27 years ago. And I grew up doing that. It was a breeder farm where we produced turkey eggs, and those eggs would go to hatcheries and become commercial meat, like in the grocery store, like Butterball, brands like that. That's where that meat comes from. I tinker with vegetables during the summer and fall. That's just a kind of a side hobby. And I sell, if I have a good year, I sell some stuff just for extra money. But I work as a soil and water. Well, actually, my title is natural resource conservationist. And my job is for Union County, I seek out our soil erosion issues, our water quality issues. I consult with landowners and farmers on how to correct those issues. And we have grant programs from the state that can help fix those problems, help ease the cost on the landowner to do those things, because some conservation practices are expensive. So I joined Toastmasters. Well, my employer wanted me to join Toastmasters because I do a lot of presentations. I have to meet with clients, and I need to be able to speak professionally and intelligently on a whim sometimes. And this has helped me a lot with that. But I've been doing this job for a little over 9 years now. And as Vicky said, my son just turned 1 year old, and I'll celebrating a 2-year anniversary married on the 19th. So that's a little quick.
You like stress.
Thank
You like stress, don't you?
you. Yes, it's stressful.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
You get to come up.
Oh, man.
So why don't you tell us, you've been a member, wow, 4 months maybe?
3 or 4, right?
3 or 4 months. So tell us a little bit about you personally that we
Okay.
don't know.
Well, I'll try to keep it, I need the timer to kick in,
Yeah, you keep it.
because I got a longer story to tell than some. So,
Well, not the whole 100.
all right, don't go to the whole 100 years. In the beginning, the earth cooled. But I wanted to say, I connect with Latricia said about, starting out with humble beginnings. My mother was married at 15 to my father at 18.
Wow.
Many people ask, well, how old was she when you were born? Well, I came along 6 years later. So I'm the first one, so to solve that problem. But when I was a kid, we were poor. I didn't have shoes in the summer. Not that, but I didn't even know
You didn't know
we
anything.
were poor. I remember, for example, my dad would come home from work. He worked as a lineman, not for the county, but for a power company. And he would come home on Fridays with a 16-ounce bottle of Coke, and carry it between us. And oh man, the joy, because I knew that after dinner we were going to have 3 glasses, and watch the Disney. I didn't. Anyway, they rallied resources and sent me to school. I was one of the very first ones who went to college and graduated in my cousin peer group. I've got about 800 cousins, so. But at any rate, so graduated software engineering. I'm now getting ready to retire as a software engineer. From Wells Fargo, I hold the title of senior software engineer, assistant vice president, which sounds pretty fancy, but not really.
I worked at a bank.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 months to retire. I've been married for 34 years. I've got 2 children, 6 grandchildren. I have a good relationship with everybody, which is important, and oftentimes not to be found when you have in-laws. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And so now I'm here and working on my skills so that I can do better at my other job, which is being an elder at a Presbyterian church.
Locust.
Well, focus.
right?
Yes.
Right.
All right.
I don't know if she maybe the red light.
Thank you.
So Tricia.
I don't wanna talk
Tricia.
anymore.
I know.
I'm Latricia.
I was gonna, wait a minute, I was gonna tell him something.
Okay.
When she was sitting here, when we were briefing, she was so nervous, and I thought, wait till she gets up there for that minute of silence. If that doesn't get somebody, nothing will. That's brutal, but
I
it-
actually enjoyed the minute of
Oh
silence.
my gosh!
It helped me to relax. My
oh my
breathing.
gosh, really?
It
Oh,
did.
great.
At first, I was nervous and just looking at everyone, but it helped me to kind of calm down.
Wow.
After 30 seconds. I'm Latricia. I came to Toastmasters almost a year ago because it was on my 40 before 40 goals list.
Yeah.
I've been married to my husband. It'll be 20 years in July. We went to high school together. We have 2 sons. One just graduated from high school. One is a junior with a new full-time job. And outside of Toastmasters, I do fitness. And I am working on a board game I created. Some of you know, I presented it a couple weeks ago. So I'm in the beginning stages of patent and lawyers and all of the wonderful things that come with making a product.
All right.
So I have to speak.
Thank you so much, contestants. That takes a lot of nerve. That's the first time I've ever assigned contestants that I didn't get told no 3 times. No, they all just said yes. So this has been a lot of fun. I hope you've learned something about the dynamics of doing a speech contest. It's pretty serious business, and we've been pretty serious. Jeffrey, first time for him as a chief judge, and he has been studying it for a couple of weeks, and he did a fantastic job there. I do want to admit that I forgot something. I didn't turn the page properly, and I forgot to read this part. Thank you, Valencia, for not calling me out there. But at the right before the contest, I was supposed to have said, I will introduce each contestant by announcing their name. Please join me in welcoming into the speaking area. I will then give the topic, repeat the topic and the contestant's name. There shall be no further applause at this point. Oh, I didn't know that. And this contestant shall begin their presentation. So that was when I was turning the pages, I missed that page.
Somehow I did hear that part about the
I
question.
I told y'all in the briefing, but the others were in here.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody is supposed to be aware of the same thing for everybody.
So,
Other than that,
does that mean we're not supposed to clap?
does that mean we have to start over?
Yep.
I don't think the class is wrong.
Well,
Okay.
We used to clap at the end, but now they've evidently changed it where you clap before they come up and then you don't clap again. So that's the first time I've ever seen it. See, we're all learning, even me.
We clapped after we said their name.
Just because I'm the oldest, doesn't mean I know.
Okay.
That's the time when we should clap.
Okay.
When,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but I forgot to read that and this song, yeah. So anyway, I have results. Jeffrey and his team of ballot counters. Jonathan was thrown in as a ballot counter. You've been a member 3 weeks? 2? That's great. Thank you for everybody that did a roll. We would, at a larger contest, they would give out certificates for everybody except the judges. The judges are always kept anonymous. Because when you get up to the division and the district and the international, these people are dead serious about this stuff. And they all go up there thinking they're gonna win. And then somebody that doesn't win, that gets really mad, could actually go to one of those judges and not be too nice. So the judges are never revealed. When you're in a small setting like this, it's hard not to know. And we know we're not that serious at this point. But just know that when you see another contest, you're gonna see that the judges, first contest I ever went through, they actually called them up and gave them certificates for being a judge. You know, that is not what the rule book says. So anyway, let's look at third place winner. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Jake Barbie. Here's your certificate. I'll keep it in the drawer and you can have it next time you're here. It's really hard to do a speech on Zoom. And he wanted to be here, but I think something last minute came up and he wasn't able to be here. Our second place contestant, not gonna be Tim Akers.
I need a picture taken. Oh, wow. Oh.
We can take pictures at the end. You can
Okay.
sit up there too.
At the end. Now, this is the end pretty
Oh,
much.
okay.
This is the end. Let's see where fun.
Hey, Jake's back there. Can you see Jake? No. This is my mentee.
Oh.
Hadn't been very good mentor, but.
Look this way. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, that's it. At this point, the contest master will explain to you what comes next. You will proceed, the winner will proceed to the area contest and give the date and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much it, don't you think?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. So our president. Most of us in the room, too bad you can't see us.
Yeah.
The
I
Dylan
told-
House, Presidente, take it away.
Yes, I think Jake not being able to see the audience was his downfall.
Oh, is that
No, excellent job, Jeffrey, putting all of this together. I think that this was definitely a learning exercise for us. I think that we all grew in doing this. I really appreciate, though, the planning that went in on Jeffrey's part and Vicky for leading the meeting today. Looking forward to getting another one scheduled on the books so that we can actually participate at the area and level as well in the next little bit here. So one comment that I did want to make is that if you have Easy Speak, you would have known who the judges were because everyone's roles were listed online. So maybe a learning opportunity for us would be,
actually, no, they're hidden. They're hidden. The only people that can see them are the officers.
oh, well, good for me for being an officer then.
Yes.
Good on me.
But if we did have an officer participate, and I would imagine that we would, we might want to consider doing that differently then, so that it is as similar as possible to what the actual experience would be like if we were to compete at the next level. But all in all, great work. Excited. I do hope everyone enjoys their Christmas or holiday coming up next week. Jeffrey, were you planning on having a meeting next week?
Yeah,
No, I thought
No.
we might do lunch next. week.
yeah, we were going to Dunswell, right? Isn't that what?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that okay? Does everybody want to do that? We don't have any speeches next week. You know where Dunwells is, right down here in Mint Hill?
I have one question.
Okay.
Is it possible to know, like, to have a critique? Or is that not part of what we're gonna do with these? Because I mean, I would love to know what the highlights, what the downlights, were on the three speakers.
Yeah, and this is very important, actually. We do evaluations at a regular meeting, and that's where we're giving them feedback to make them better. Well, guess what? A contest is not like that. It's a competition. So they are graded on certain criteria. Do you have an extra voting form that you can show, Jonathan?
I've seen it.
Oh, you have, and there are certain criterias that these judges look at, and they're actually voting against one another.
What's another she go to?
I tried to sign up for that.
That's one of those analyzing things, the
Yeah,
speeches as
yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah, I was experimenting. So yeah, it's a lot different than being a judge in a competition is a whole lot different from a personal evaluation. They're not giving them any feedback to improve. They're just really competing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Did we decide to go to Dunwells?
Lunch
Yeah.
next week at Dunwell's. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I like that. Anybody object to that? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, done.
Can someone make a reservation?
I'll be waiting. I'm Sergeant Arms, that's part of my job.
All right, with that, I will say meeting adjourned unless there's any other comments. Actually, let's say this, there are no other comments online, meeting adjourned, and if you guys want to make comments amongst yourself, feel free to.
Congratulations.